Hey, what's up everybody? 3D Theory here. Today is September 24th, 2024 at 8:37 a.m. This is vlog number 56. Today we got some fun, cool stuff to talk about, as well as some concerns in the comment section about using the AMS Lite top mount over here. As you can tell, I got a latch printed out over here in black, another lid for the Stealth TV tray, and I'll tell you why. And we got the test drawer unit for the Stealth TV tray with some yellow filament. What's that about? And guess who's back? We got that wolf figure who is pretty much a representation of the Grim Reaper, and we're gonna be doing something fun today with all these things. And what's this? A PEI sheet from Bambu Lab. Why is that over here? We'll all get to it right now. Nothing like a nice warm cup of coffee on a 73.2 degree Fahrenheit morning with a 60% humidity. I'm really curious during winter how much humidity we're going to be accumulating in this room. Wow, 104.7. I'm pretty sure it went higher than that at a certain point. The heat of this room, there was like a really hot week one week. But nonetheless, let's get to the fun stuff. By the way, for those of you who are new to this channel, this is my tiny 3D print farm of 5 Bambu Lab A1 3D printers, and I use these printers for the production of plates and latches which connect to a larger product, but I don't really talk about what that larger product is because it's unrelated to 3D printing. It's not a 3D printed product, but we have our plates and latches here, and I print them out in PETG. This is a left latch, which looks absolutely gorgeous. Here's a right latch, left plate, and right plate. But man, do they look clean and smooth. These Bambu Lab printers do an amazing job. And I only use generic PETG settings with these machines and get results like that. You can see production in full effect in some of my older videos, but we reached a point now where production is paused because we had an order for 300 units and we fulfilled that order, and now we are assembling the products. And here we have a Bambu Lab A1 with an AMS Lite combo, and we just recently put it on the top mount over here. And by the way, we use that same gray PETG, and it is looking real smooth, real clean. Did an amazing job with those back parts as well. And I use this printer specifically for near empty spools of that gray PETG filament. So once a spool gets so low where it can't finish a plate and latch on its own, I throw it on the AMS Lite combo and start a print of some plates and latches. And this is printer number 5, so that's for this printer. And once one spool finishes up during the print, it just switches over automatically to another near empty spool of filament and completes the print. And that is primarily why I use this AMS Lite combo Bambu Lab A1 in this tiny 3D print farm of 5 Bambu Lab A1 3D printers. I know a lot of you have been curious about where I get my filament from, and I tell you guys exactly where I get it from. It's from Alibaba, but as you know, with Alibaba, you gotta have your business account, you gotta pay hefty shipping fees from overseas, and then you gotta buy in bulk. And you might be wondering why I printed out a black version here. And I'll tell you why. By the way, that is also looking super clean and smooth. I'm just really impressed with these Bambu Lab A1 3D printers. And as you know, I have a video on how I think I get such smooth prints, because I get a lot of questions how I get smooth prints, what are my 3D printer settings, and I made a video specifically on that, and I could link it down in the description. But the reason why I have a gray and a black one, because for you guys to avoid having to pay those hefty shipping fees, buying in bulk, as well as having to set up a business account, I'm releasing that same filament under my brand. It's available on my Etsy shop, and you could just get your hands on small quantities as needed and get the same clean and smooth print result. And as you know, I use my Bambu Lab A1 3D printers. It works particularly well, I can say for sure, because I'm using it on these Bambu Lab A1 3D printers. So if you guys are interested, please check out the link below and get your hands on it today. And by the way, for the first 45 people who get 3D Theory PETG filament, I'll be sending them a free 3D Theory keychain as a thank you for supporting the 3D Theory channel. Not only this, guys, but I'm offering a 25% off discount code for 1 week. When you're checking out at Etsy, just make sure to type in 3D25 to get 25% off your order on Etsy. First things first is I want to address this box. So I actually went on Temu and I found a smooth PEI sheet, and it was decently priced, and I thought to myself, why don't I give this a try? So what you're seeing here is the box to that, and I came in earlier this morning about 4 or 5 a.m. I had woken up early for some reason and came back here to do some work, went back to sleep, and I just woke up again. And so I have a video of me opening this up, and I'm going to include that here right now. All right, now that that print is finished up, I'm going to go ahead and take this off and take a look at it. Oh man, that came off real clean. I'm so used to the bottom of this being textured. Let's see how easily this comes off. I think I'm just gonna have to take it off and bend it. Very nice. Wow, that is so smooth. And this PETG, by the way, has been sitting out for a few months. This is the near empty spools of filament that I was talking about. And I also have those two front gray ones there are also these near empty spools of filament. I had 3 left. But when we had printed these out, I thought maybe there was some issues because of the friction of the textured PEI sheet. So I wanted to always give it a try with the smooth one. And that's the main reason why I got one, to try that out. And as you know, I printed out the place where this lid connects into on printer number 5 over there. So let's go over there and take that out. So what's special about this, as you can see here, I got the gray PETG and yellow PLA. And someone in the comments had kept saying, please just use PLA supports and it'll come out a lot easier. So what I went ahead and did is I got that yellow PLA, as you can see up there in that purge tower, and wherever there is a connecting point up top, I made it so it's PLA, so we can see if it's actually easier to take out. Now, I would also like for the supports to be full PLA, but I went with settings I had found online that the Bambu Lab community were liking. So I just went ahead and stuck with that, but I could always go back and make these supports all PLA. And another person in the comments was asking, aren't you concerned about third-party filament spools falling off the top mount? And I couldn't really answer the question because I hadn't really used it yet, but I have 2 prints done on this machine now, and I could comfortably say that these spools are on there. They're doing good. So unless I see otherwise, I think it's good to go, at least with these spools, which I can say now are the 3D Theory PETG spools. That's super cool to hear that. 3D Theory PETG spools. Nice. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this off really quick. Super easy to take off, very nice. So I'm really hoping these actually come out a lot easier. Let me get some tools ready. And the tool that I was using that was the most effective with these was this one here. So I'm gonna try to use that again, see how easy it is to take out. No, look at that. It is not even connected. Oh my, and by the way, someone had mentioned in one of my videos that there was some layer shifts happening. And what do you know? There are some layer shifts happening here. How interesting is that? That's why this broke. Wow. They really don't like to stick. Interesting. That is so crazy. And look at that. Where that PLA was, came out really well. Other than this part here, this bottom tree supports, I feel like are gonna still be difficult to come out, especially because it's PETG. Oh yeah. So I think I'd actually like to test it out with full PLA supports. That'd be really cool. But for sure, that PLA comes off super easy. So I can't wait to try the potential with this. And I went ahead and I followed some settings off of that post on Bambu Lab, but maybe I can just do some generic stuff, not change up a whole lot of settings, and see how that turns out. But I think I got the answer here. This came out really nice, and this came out super easy. I'm really impressed. Unfortunately, I can't try this smooth thing out yet because I'm gonna have to print out another one of these. But nonetheless, we could save this for a different time. It is getting hot in here, so I'm gonna turn this fan back on. So hey, what do you know? When I opened up Bambu Studio so I can reslice the drawer, there is a 1.9.7 release note on Bambu Studio, and it's saying that 1.9.7.5 has been removed due to an offset issue when printing with multiple colors, which I used PETG and PLA, and literally it was offset. So it says as this bug has been fixed and avoid using the previous version. So I guess we're at 0.52 now. How interesting. I am definitely downloading that and installing that right now. So that's good to know. And by the way, at B. Kobinger, if you're watching, you're right. There's actually a layer shift issue happening that they just fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and download this. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I updated that Bambu Studio version, so we don't have that layer shifting happening anymore. By the way, when you're using a smooth PEI sheet, you just go to plate type over here and you want to make sure you switch it over to smooth PEI. But we're using a textured PEI now for the drawer. I'm going to drop that drawer in and rotate that in X. And if you guys are interested, I actually went to support Filament PETG for PLA and PLA for PETG. And this guy, Jim, wrote out some directions that I followed, but he also changed a lot of settings here that I'm just going to leave generic for mine and see what kind of results I get. I'm going to obviously turn off flush into object support. So that's one thing I'm going to turn off. So I'm going to go over to the other tab and turn off flush into object support, and I'm going to go over to support, and over here it says filament for supports. So support raft interface, I'm going to put PLA, and this is what I had last time. I just did the support interface, but I'm going to do the support raft base as well, and hopefully this does the entire tree support. And the rest, I'm just gonna leave as is. And I do have some specific settings that I really like. So these are my specific support settings that I've set up a while back, and I forgot exactly what I did, but I adjusted it so that it prints the way I like it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and slice this. All right, there you go. So the whole thing is gonna print out in PLA, and I can't wait to see the results on this, especially after seeing how easily that strip came off. And this shouldn't have a layer shift because we've updated that Bambu Studio software. But nonetheless, I'm going to get this exported and I'll see you out in the real world. All right, guys, so we got that loaded up on the SD card. That printer's ready. And we're just going to go ahead and print that drawer again. I'll see you in about 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I'm going to start with 3 because it's the lowest spool. 2 for PLA, perfect. All right, I'll see you when this is done. And actually, let's get this thing started up next. A long while back, I had done a challenge where this is actually the first resin 3D print I had ever done on a Creality Halot, and the details came out great. And I went ahead and I printed out this same model in this same size on the Creality Ender 3 V2 Neo, and I wanted to do a comparison of detail, and obviously this one won. But that was using a 0.4 millimeter nozzle and not the Bambu Lab A1. As you know, the Bambu Lab A1 has been producing really good results for us. So I do want to give the Bambu Lab A1 a try with a 0.2 millimeter nozzle, and we're going to get that switched out, print out that Grim Reaper wolf character from Puss in Boots 2, and see which one passes the detail test. I'm actually really excited about this. I've been wanting to do this on even the Creality Ender with a smaller nozzle, but I never got around to it. And now that I do have a smaller 0.2 millimeter nozzle, I'm really excited to give this a try. I'm going to increase the settings to really high quality, 0.2 millimeter nozzle, and see how much level of detail we can get. And with those oh so good tree supports, we're going to be able to take them off, hopefully without breaking anything. If you guys check out my YouTube short where I had taken the supports out, I think both legs of the wolf Grim Reaper character had broken off. The only problem with this one was that for some reason one of the legs printed out flat, and I had mentioned that this guy is flat-footed. Alright guys, so we're back here in Bambu Studio, and I got the 50 millimeter Grim Reaper wolf from Puss in Boots on here. And if you guys are interested, I'll put a link to this guy's cults so you can download this and have fun with it yourself. I'm gonna just grab this guy and bring him back a tad bit. I'm gonna print him out on the smooth PEI sheet. I figured I'd give that a try. All right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add a printer here. I'm gonna go over to the Bambu Lab A1 and check on 2mm and 6mm because I do have a 6mm nozzle now, and I do want to give that a try one of these days. I'm gonna click confirm. So now I'll just go over to the 0.2mm nozzle and do smooth. I'm gonna delete this PLA because I don't need it. And we are working in PETG. So I'm gonna go over here to the presets and see how fine I can get this. So this is a fine detail, and we got that 0.2 smooth, I do want to add tree supports. So I'm going to turn that on, do tree. And this is going to be kind of a walkthrough of what I change here, because I took screen caps of what my altered settings were, and I'm going to input them in right now so it'll be kind of easy to see. All right, guys, so I just turned on, as you know, I enabled support, put on tree. I put this down to 15. I increased the support wall loops by 2, and the top Z distance, I'm going to do a 0.16. The bottom Z distance, I'm going to do a 0.2. And the top interface layers, I'm going to do 3. And let's scroll down here. We're going to do top interface spacing at 0. And tree support branch angle, we're going to do at 60 degrees. All right, guys, and that's about it. Pretty much everything else is just generic, and I can't wait to try this 0.2 millimeter nozzle at this fine level of detail. All right, guys, so I'm going to slice this out. All right, so that's going to take 4 hours and 10 minutes for such a small little print, but it has such fine levels of detail going on that it's going to take a long time, and I'm really excited to see what this Bambu Lab A1 printer can do with this thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and export the sliced file, and I'll see you out in the real world. All right, guys, so we got the Wolf from Puss in Boots 2 loaded up on the SD card on this machine, but I just realized that if the entire support material is PLA and it doesn't stick, when it prints out on this thing, will it even stay on the PETG? I'm kind of curious. It may not, but it also may. We're just gonna have to see the results. All right, guys, the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is unload the filament here. All right, guys, so that pretty much finished unloading. Now I can go ahead and turn this thing off, bring that over. And now we're just gonna go ahead and remove this plate. I usually like starting at the bottom. Whoa, that flung right off, but I caught it. And we're gonna gently remove this thermal sock. I'm gonna be very careful because this is probably still hot. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's definitely still hot from unloading the filament. So I'm gonna let that cool down for a second. I'm gonna gently open this up. And now we're gonna be able to just simply pull this out. For this part, I'm gonna use big needle nose pliers here so I can get a good grasp on it. And there's some filament in there. By the way, if you guys are curious, this is how big the filament is left in the nozzle after going and cutting from here. So I'll just throw that away. Now we can pop open that 0.2 millimeter nozzle. All right, that's a really small nozzle. I love that. And this is the great thing about Bambu Lab. It's just so simple. You pop that in, it's got a magnet on there, and there you go. It's ready. All right, guys, and once we got that latch on there, all right, guys, and once we push down on that, we can latch that into place, and that's nice and sturdy in there. We're gonna put that thermal sock back on. All right, that's looking good. Now we can pop that window back on, and this thing is ready to go. And let's get this wolf printed out. 4 hours and 10 minutes. I'll see you guys when that finishes out. All right, guys, so the drawer finished up over here. Take a look at that. That yellow is all PLA. So let's see how easy it is to take this off. Okay, now I could hear it crackling around. Looks like this filament's picked up moisture finally after several months of being out of a filament box and no desiccants, but it's still printed out pretty good. But okay, now here's the result. Oh my gosh, you're kidding. Wow. I think this is gonna come out in one satisfying just pull. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at that. You guys know how much of a struggle this drawer has been to take all the tree supports out of there. This is just unheard of. This was just so easy to take out. And it was only 1/2 of the table that needed this. So I think when I print out the Stealth TV tray again for a family member, I'm gonna do it this way. You must be joking me. This is so easy. Wow, I love it. Hey, you know what? Shout out of sorts to @007 Buddha 007 for kind of nudging me to do this, because honestly, I'm so glad I tried this out. That was probably some of the hardest supports that I had to take out. It's in such a tight spot, and using the PLA, it just came out in one go. And it printed out great. Let's see if I can kind of show you the bottom there. yeah, it's looking decent. Let me get that out of the way. Now here's the other part of this test, not printing with texture and just having it super smooth like this. Let's stick it through and see what the results are. Oh, come on. That is so nice. Wow. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I love it is an understatement. Guys, I am so impressed with this. From now on, if I ever have tree supports in a difficult area, I know it's gonna be hard to remove, I'm definitely gonna print the supports out with PLA. Wow, this is seriously a game changer. All right guys, and just so you know, we are still waiting on the Grim Reaper Wolf. It's about an hour and 51 minutes left, and so far, so good. But once it finishes up, we'll be back here to check it out and compare it to the resin 3D printed version. This was printed out on the Creality Halot, by the way. Very cool. All right, guys, so it has finished up. This is the Grim Reaper Wolf character from Puss in Boots 2, printed out in a 0.2 millimeter nozzle with fine detail generic settings in Bambu Studio. So let's get this guy off the print bed and take a look. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna take this guy off the print bed as carefully as I possibly can. All right, there you have it, guys. I'm gonna start slowly peeling away at the filament. And now after having used the PLA as filament, I kind of wish I used PLA for this. Oh no, the leg broke, just like on the Creality. How interesting, but wow. I'd say there's a lot more detail than the Creality was able to give. But then again, it's not a fair comparison if I'm not using a 0.2 millimeter nozzle on that machine. But we are comparing it to the resin print. Oh, the leg broke off of that one too. Oh no. And there goes his scythe. Oh, that's not cool. Most of his arm is going, but let's see here. But let's take a look at the detail. I can see quite a bit of fur there, and you could actually make out his eyes and his teeth. Wow. Let's see with the resin. Yeah, I mean, the resin's a lot smoother. You can make out his teeth. I'd say they're almost a tie, except of course, the cleaning of the supports. I'm sure if I were to have printed this out in a different orientation, maybe it would have worked better. But now that we have that PLA idea in mind, I'm wondering if maybe I can print out the supports in PLA. I'm very curious to give that a try now. It's tough. As for detail, I'd say they're almost a tie. Maybe even the Bambu Lab print has a little more detail. As for smoothness, it's hard to tell, guys. But what do you think? You think the Bambu Lab won this one? Or is it still for the resin printer? That is interesting. But as for the total build, definitely the resin takes it, because this one went to pieces. But nonetheless, that was a fun little test. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, peace, love, and joy.